Hala, day 45 na tayo sa ating 60 days of basic networking. Let's do this! Palitan ko lang yung camera ko. Ayan. So, understanding network address translation. So, basically, kung matatandaan nyo, dun sa first sets or sa fundamentals natin, first few lessons about IP addressing, we've already talked about the private IP address and public IP address. Diba? So, pinag-usapin natin doon or diniscuss natin doon na yung mga private IP address, for example, is 10 subnets, lahat ng 10, kasi alam naman natin lahat ng 10 pumapasok sa private. So, yung mga private, they belong to the local area network or inside the organization. Okay? Now, when they are, by the way, ito pala yung range. So, they are divided into 3 different classes. So, lahat ng IP address natin, either public man or private, divided into 3 main classes. So, class A, B, and C. Meron tayong class D and E. Pinag-usapan din natin yun sa IP version 4. Pero, ang ginagamit lang naman talaga karaniwan, lalo na sa routing, is ABC. So, it's either private or public. Pero both of them, meron silang subnets na nabibilang for class A, class B, and C. So, makikita mo dito, yung table natin, ito yung range or sets ng private IP address natin. So, lahat ng 10, okay, lahat ng 10 pumapasok yan sa private na class A. Tapos, as you can see here, sa private na class B, 172.16.0.0 hanggang 172.31.255.255. Okay? So, that's why it's /12. So, may mga nagtatanong dito, di ba sir, ang default subnet mask ng class B is /16? Yes, pero sa kabuuan yun. Di ba? So, sabi ko nga, both private and public, meron silang class A, class B, and class C. So, kung ang titingnan lang natin ay private na class B, ang pinaka subnet mask niya is /12 lang or 255.240.0.0. Ibig sabihin hanggang doon lang yung mabibilang doon sa private. Kasi, as you can see here, sa public, meron din tayong pumapasok sa 172. Ayan, baba ko ng konti yung mic ko, baka medyo malakas. Okay, so as you can see here, meron tayong 172.32.0.0 hanggang 191.255.255.255. Diba? So makikita mo, yung nawawalang sets ng IP address for A, B, and C, napupunta sa public. Yung nawawala sa private. Kasi wala dito yung 1 to 9. Nagsimula kagad siya sa 10 eh. Napapansin mo ba yan? Di ba walang 1 to 9 dyan? That's why yung 1 to 9, ayun, nandun sa public. So, malinaw tayo dito. Both private and public, meron silang class A, B, and C. Okay? Now, balik tayo. Dun sa private IP address, they are being used inside our organization or our network infrastructure. Ibig sabihin, kahit gamitin natin, maalin man dito sa mga subnet na ito, pwede natin yung gamitin inside our organization. Hindi na natin kailangan bilhin, hindi na natin kailangan magpaalam sa mga ISP, hindi natin kailangan magpaalam sa mga ICANN or IANA or registry and so on and so forth. Nagigets? Kasi private IP address yun eh, di ba? Now, in terms of public IP address, this is what we use when routing or when connecting to the internet. Ibig sabihin, for example, when we're accessing our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or other websites like Google, Yahoo, and so on and so forth, hindi pwedeng ito yung ginagamit ng mga router or device natin. They are using what we called public IP addresses. At ito na nga yung mga yun. Okay? Now, you're probably asking, sir, saan natin makukuha yung mga public IP? Good question. Okay? Basically, we get that or we lease that from our ISP. Okay? Now, dun sa mga residential or home or small offices na gumagamit ng tinatawag natin nga, nakatulad ng binanggit ko dati, ng mga hindi managed na devices or hindi managed na network, they usually get actually hindi na nila iniintindi yun eh. Kasi katulad natin, pag nagpakabit tayo ng residential or home internet, wala naman tayong pakialam kung anong na-assign na public IP sa atin. Although makikita natin yon via whatismyip.com, kadalasan hindi na natin concern yon kasi ang concern lang talaga natin is magkaroon ng connection sa internet. Right? So now, in enterprise or in managed network, when we lease a connection, for example, ng internet, mga business plan or enterprise plan, meron yun or binibigay sa atin ni PLDT, for example, a /30 or 2 piraso na public IP for our internet connection, or kumbaga assets or subnets of public IP depending on our needs or depending on the contract, depending on the price. Siyempre, depende rin sa speeds yung usapan. Pero you get or we can get a public IP from our ISP. Wala kang ibang makukunan nun. Okay? Walang iba. Right now, all of the public IP are being managed by the ISP. Okay, now yung mga ISP, they are being managed by the RIR or Regional Internet Registry, and then yung mga RIR, managed naman sila ng Ayana and ICANN and so on and so forth. Napag-aralan na natin yun dun sa hierarchy ng IPv4. Actually, nire-recall ko lang kayo nadaanan na natin itong mga lesson na to Diba? So, nagigets. Now, balik tayo. Private IP inside our organization, public IP outside our organization. Now, you're probably wondering, sir, paano nangyayari? 'Di ba yung mga devices mo inside your organizations are using private IP addresses, pero sabi mo bawal silang lumabas via the internet. Hanggang dun lang sila. Actually, hanggang dito lang 'yan kung sa internet lalabas. Okay? Sa internet, ang ginagamit nga nila is public IP. So, paano na nangyayari na yung mga private IP connections or private IP addresses mo inside, nakaka-connect pa rin. For example, yung PC na yun, nakaka-connect sa Facebook, nakaka-connect sa Google, etc. So on and so forth. Pag nasa office mo, ikaw, for example, yung gamit mo na computer, for example, allowed yung access nyo, di ba? Although you're using private IP address, pag check mo sa IP config, you're using 10.something that's private, di ba? Pero nakaka-connect ka sa Facebook. And then, when you check, for example, whatismyip.com, that's the time makikita mo yung public IP address mo. Now, ang nangyayari is, there is a certain device or certain mechanism or protocol that handles the translation or mapping, if you will, ng private IP into public IP address. And that's what we call network address translation or NAT. Right? So, okay ba yung intro natin? Okay. So, let's go ahead and talk. Nagdumi na pala yung... Linisin ko lang Okay, let's go ahead and talk the concepts and the practices or the terminologies na may kinalaman sa network address translation. Okay? So, network address translation is basically one of the protocol or one of the IP services na almost existing. Okay? Always existing in a managed network. Lagi tayong meron yan, NAT. Okay? Kasi nga, inside we're using private IP and then outside we're using public. So, the word network address translation means it's mapping or translating private IP addresses to public IP or vice versa kung papasok or palabas. Pero you get the point, di ba? So, ang nangyayari is yun nga, yung mga IP addresses natin inside our enterprise or our organizations are being translated or mapped into public IP para makapag-communicate tayo doon sa labas ng network natin or sa internet. So, paano nangyayari yun? Don't worry. As we go along with this section, magigets at mas maiintindihan mo pa how NAT operates. By the way guys, you can also visit our official website which is techacademy.ph, and then from there makikita mo yung mga courses namin. So we have free and premium courses. You can start with the free ones which will give you the same video lessons na nakikita mo dito sa ating 60 days of basic networking. Dinagdagan lang natin yung iba as well as kinurate or inedit natin yung iba para nga mabigyan ka ng at least foundation or fundamentals. Okay, ang kagandahan when you go with techacademy.ph at tinuk mo or kinuha mo yung mga free courses, it comes with certificate of completion kapag natapos mo yung mga courses na yun. So, pwede mo yung gamitin as a reference sa resume mo, lalo na kung ikaw ay nagsisimula pa lang. Again, visit techacademy.ph and then from there, browse our courses. Okay? See you there. Okay? Another characteristics is kaya inimbento or kaya ginawa si network address translation or NAT is really to alleviate or to work around dun sa nakita nila na IPv4 depletion or yung nung na-realize nila na we're running out of IPv4 since hindi pa ready yung IPv6, they introduce some workaround or some concepts to kumbaga alleviate or para hindi ka agad maubos. So kasama na yung subnetting or classless subnetted or mga subnets, and then kasama na rin si network address translation. Kasi a big organization, no matter how many private IP addresses you have, you can use one or two or just a couple of public IP addresses and you will be able to connect to the internet na. Di ba? Hindi for example, hindi katulad sa IPv6 or sabi mo hindi ka nag-implement ng NAT sa IPv6, pwede ka nang, di ba? Sabi nila, lahat ng devices mo, pwede nang connect sa internet. Pero sa IPv4, no. Kasi nga yung mga private IP addresses are designed or kumbaga dinesignate nila na inside organization lang. Okay, so yun. So si NAT is just basically one of the rescue para makatipid or para mapigilan yung pagkaubos ng IPv4 during nung nagbo-boom na yung Internet of Things and Internet. Okay? And then, it belongs to RFC. Yung una niya is 1631 and then it was updated or yung updates niya or yung succeeding RFC, succeeding RFC updates niya is on the RFC 3022. Okay, so malinaw tayo, okay? So, again, we now understand na si network address translation is basically mapping or translating private IP into a given or sets of public IP addresses. So, ganun din. Vice versa. Balikan sila. As long as nakaka-connect tayo from the inside of our organizations going to the public or the internet. Now, how does that really happen in the back end or in the background? Okay, so let me give you a simple analogy para mas magets mo kung paano talaga nangyayari, di ba? So, as you can see here, we have a simple diagram where we have a local area network. Right? So, as you can see here, di ba? So, local area network mo to, dito pumapasok yan. Local, that's local. Local inside your router, so most cases, is local. So, let's say, for example, you implement 10.10.10.0 here /24. And then, yung interface ng router mo dyan is .1. Di ba? So, lahat ng IP mo, gumagamit ng 10 address. Di ba? 10.x.x.x, etc. and so on and so forth. Right? Private IP address inside our organization. Now, let's take for example, those devices or those PC or laptops needs to connect to the internet. Let's take for example, yung mga marketing team nyo or sales team nyo needs to do some marketing efforts sa social media or mag-advertise sa social media, sa YouTube and so on and so forth. So, Facebook, YouTube, and other public websites. Diba? So, pag connect nila sa internet, they will basically go through your router, right? So, ito yung router natin. In this case, ang magiging NAT device natin is basically the router. Okay? So, itong interface na to, facing ISP, yung interface na yan, okay, ito, sabihin na natin yan na yan ay, for the sake of example, FA01, para mas madali. Okay? So, usually serial yan eh. Pero for the sake of example nga, FA01 yan. Now, ang mangyayari dyan kapag ka nag-list na tayo ng internet connection or dedicated connection sa ating ISP, dedicated internet connection, meaning, nandun nga katulad ng sinabi ko, depending on the speed na kukunin natin, depending on the bandwidth, okay? Tapos kung magkano yung price and then the contract. So, it will going to give us a designated public IP address. Okay? So, sabihin na natin, ang binigay sa atin ni PLDT is 9.1.1.1. Just for the sake of example. So, ang mangyayari, with the help of network address translation, itong mga IP addresses na ito, okay? Itong mga IP addresses na ito, if they are going out, yung mga users natin, if they are going out or if they are connecting to the public internet like Facebook and YouTube, natatranslate yung mga IP addresses nila into our public IP. Like for example, in this scenario is the 9.1.1. Ibig sabihin, kapag ka, for example, yung PC na yun is connect or co-connect sa ating internet, dadaan siya dyan, and then yung IP niya, hindi yung lalabas at 10.something. Lalabas yun as 9.1.1. So, sila Facebook, sila Yahoo, and so on and so forth. Nakikita yung communication natin dun sa server nila. For example, hindi yung 10.x.x na IP, kundi yung public IP mo. Actually, nakikita rin nila yung AS kung anong AS ka. So, malalaman nila na you're a PLDT subscriber. Kasi nangyayari sa amin yung dati. Like, for example, may naka-troubleshoot kami ng mga network engineer ng AT&T, nakikita nila yung AS mo. Diba? AS number or autonomous system numbers. Nalalaman nila, you are connecting to us or communicating to us via this AS. So, can you check if there's any routing problem in your ISP and so on and so forth. Pero the concept, the high-level concept of NAT is just basically this. Okay? So, yung private IP mo, bago lumabas ng internet router mo is being translated or mapped into a public IP. Okay? So, usually, sa router or in real world, kadalasan sa firewall natin ginagawa yung network address translation. Make sense? So, you know, getting somehow the basic concept or basic idea of how network address translation works. So, don't worry. As we moved on to this section, mas magigets mo pa yan. Lalo na pagdating dun sa types and configurations. Pero now, you know the basics. Okay? So, again, just to recap, okay, ito yung mga range ng private IP addresses natin. And ito naman yung range ng ating public IP addresses. So when we do that, what happens is our enterprise or any organization are using any of this inside their organization. Kaya lang, when they go out, they are being translated to this IP. So this one are managed usually by the ISPs. Pero nung una kasi hindi naman via the ISP. Okay, may mga kanya-kanya silang nakuhang block. Like for example, makikita mo yung block ni Facebook, makikita mo yung block para kay Apple, kay IBM. Pero most of the time right now, you can only get a public IP address via your ISP. Okay, so malinaw tayo dito. Right? Now, nabanggit din natin kanina, this is another refresh na yung mga public ISP or yung mga ISP natin are being managed into hierarchy by Ayana. So si Ayana yung pinaka talagang top organization nagmamanage ng AS numbers, public IP address, mga protocols, mga RFC, and then down to, di ba, Afrinic for Africa, RIPE NCC, ARIN, and so on and so forth. Tapos yung mga NIR or RIRs down to the level ISP level. So ngayon, napapagtagpi-tagpi mo na, di ba? So yung mga pinag-usapan natin dati for IPv4 private and public IP addressing and now how they are connecting to the internet, it's basically this. They are being mapped out, they are being translated from private to public through a network protocol which is what we call network address translation. Okay, so medyo malinaw na. Don't worry, as we go along, sabi ko nga mas mapapatibay pa, mas mapapa-solidify pa natin yung pangunawa or pagkaunawa mo with network address translation. Before we end this lesson, okay, napag-usapan na natin to. Okay, so yun nga, ulitin ko lang, meron pa pala siya. Okay, ulitin ko lang, yung private natin, like this one, di ba? They are being translated. For example, ito yung interface natin, FA01. Yung mga IP mo dito, inside dyan, sa kulay yellow, is being translated. Let's say, for example, that's 9.1.1.1 when they go out to the internet. Right? So, yung ISP mo, binibigyan ka ng public IP, isiset mo yun sa iNet router or internet router mo, and then, yun yung makikita sa'yo ng mga public websites. Like, for example, yun nga, when you connect to Facebook or when you connect to Google, they'll seeing you, including your AS number, through their connections or through the communication logs. Okay? Now, okay na yan, na-discuss na natin. So basically, how do we apply this in the real world? Diba? So, kung mapapansin nyo, itong network diagram na ginagamit natin simula umpisa is the same. Right? So, ito nga yung design namin on the old version ng Teletech. So, I'm not sure kung ito pa rin, pero nung nakachat ko yung dating kasamahan ko na network administrator or network engineer is basically they are implementing SD1 right now. So, yung MPLS, napapalitan na siya ng SD1. Diba? So, we already talked this doon sa one connection natin. So, di ba, yung bago ngayon, SD1. Pero the concept is the same. So, yung private connections natin here, private natin yan. Di ba? Even if you're connecting to an MPLS, private yun kasi they are one. Now, let's take for example, as you can see here, diba? Sabihin na natin, meron ka pang isang site dyan. Diba? So, site 2. Diba? Now, if, katulad nung nabanggit at na-share ko sa inyo doon sa mga naunang video, if itong user na ito, for example, is trying to connect to another site, which is still local into your organization. Like say for example, meron kayong file server dito na para lamang sa accounting. So itong user na ito is an accountant, nandun siya sa site na yan, pero kailangan niya ma-access yung accountant server or accounting server nyo. Yung traffic niya, basically, kung PLDT ang gamit mo, it's just usually traverse through that link. So private pa rin yan, wide area network. Okay, kung nandun yung server nyo sa loob, eh di local area network lang, ganun lang yung traverse ng traffic niya. Diba? Nagigets? Now, let's take for example yung accountant na yun nagbukas ng Facebook. And then, ang main internet connection nyo or ang pinaka, kumbaga, what do you call this? Active internet connection nyo is PLDT. So, nagbukas siya ng Facebook. Now, ang magiging takbo ng traffic niya, hindi na dadaan dun sa one or sa ibang site. Palabas na siya doon sa inyong co-location, dadaan ng firewall nyo, ng internet firewall nyo, dadaan ng internet edge nyo, dadaan na siya sa PLDT, papunta doon. This one is PLDT, public internet. Nagigets? Diba? So kung makikita mo, yung flow ng connection, kapag ka-tinrace route mo yan, iba yung dinadaanan ng private or one connections mo kaysa doon sa mga public connections. Kapag ka, for example, nasa isang enterprise ka ngayon, I'm not sure kung makikita mo to, pero if you open up the command prompt, try mong i-trace yung facebook.com, tapos try mong mag-trace ng private server sa inyo. I'm not sure kung pwede, pero for example, your mail server or anything inside. So magkaiba ng path yan. Diba? Usually. Kasi ganyan yung ginagawa sa mga corporate and managed network. Now, you're probably asking, sir, bakit dalawa lang yung internet router mo, Globe and PLDT? Well, ganun talaga. Kasi nga, you need to pay for that. Diba? Yung bandwidth, tapos yung speed, yung contract, etc. So, ang mangyayari kapag lahat ng connections mo palabas, it's either dito lang dadaan sa iNet mo ng PLDT o kaya naman sa iNet mo ng Globe. Diba? So, gagawan mo na ng default route yun dito sa mga router natin, palabas ng sites mo. Diba? So, lahat ng connections mo inside, sa WAN dadaan or sa MPLS or SD-WAN if you will, pero lahat ng connection mo papuntang public websites or public connections, dun sa internet mo dadaan. Ganun din. Like for example, you have a DNS zone here, DMZ zone here, tapos meron ka mga public server na ina-access ng galing naman sa labas. Hanggang dyan lang din sila. Excuse me. Dito rin sila dadaan. Yung connections nila, dyan dadaan yun. Pero hindi sila nakakapasok dun sa inside mo. We implement what we call DMZ or demilitarized zone. Okay, so I hope by showing you this example, by showing you this introduction sa network address translation, you now have the fundamental idea how NAT really works in the background.